Hey guys, welcome back to Monster Review, where we take a look at tech tips and how-to videos. Today we'll be building a cloud storage using an old PC. I have an old PC here, and as you can see, it's been collecting garbage and toys because my kids like to push their toys and garbage through the open bay slot at the front of the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and just clear out all this garbage and all this toys. The next step you want to do is you want to verify the capacity of the hard drives you have installed, and you want to make sure they're working. This build is strictly for tutorial purposes, so I don't care if I don't have enough capacity. I'm just going to use what I have here. And once you verify the hard drives, you can just go ahead and slide them back in the slot. And of course, if you don't have any working hard drives lying around, you can go on Amazon and purchase the correct hard drive for the PC you're working with. Next step you want to do is you want to verify the RAM installed in your PC. Now TrueNas requires a minimum of 8 gig, but I've been able to run TrueNas on a minimum of 4 gig. If you want to follow the recommendation of TrueNas, be sure to get 8 gigs of RAM. Now the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to get this small 250 gig hard drive and install it in the bay. And I'm going to install TrueNas on this hard drive because TrueNas is not a big program, so it doesn't need a lot of space. But I am going to be using a port on my motherboard for this hard drive, so I'm not going to be able to do RAID or anything like that because this motherboard only supports up to 2 hard drives. Now this USB flash drive that I just pulled from the back of the PC, this is what TrueNas was installed on. And TrueNas, you were able to run it off of a USB drive. However, I have not gotten success with running TrueNas off of a USB drive. It seems like they changed it to only run on a physical hard drive. If you have information about running TrueNas on a flash drive, be sure to let us know in the comment section below. And just to make everything nice and tidy, I'm just going to tuck the hard drive right on the top of the CD drive that is no longer being used, and I'm going to go ahead and vacuum up any dust on the motherboard. Now we can put the cover back on the PC and we're ready for the next step. Now, if you're wondering, this is an Inspiron 620 from back 2012-2013, so it's a pretty old PC, but it works. Alright, so I have a special staging area for PC repairs where I have an Ethernet cable, monitor, keyboard, all of those stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. After you're finished, jump on another computer and go to www.balena.io and download this software. Once it's finished downloading, go ahead and install it. Now what this software does is it allows us to put the TrueNas installation file, ISO file, onto a USB drive. Next, go to TrueNas.com, go to Get TrueNas, download TrueNas Core, scroll down, no thank you, scroll down, and download stable. Whatever version you see, you're probably going to see a later version. Whatever version is around, go ahead and download that. In Balena Etcher, go flash from file and look for the TrueNas file you just downloaded. Hit open and then plug in a flash drive, click select target, and then select the flash drive you just plugged in. Then click flash. Now this process can take a while. For me it took about 10 minutes, but I'm going to speed it up here. But be patient with it, it will take a while. Once it's complete, go ahead and remove the flash drive and plug it into the PC that you want to turn into a cloud storage server. Now I'm going to boot into the BIOS and change the boot priority. I have 2 hard drives. One is the HGST, that's a small laptop hard drive that TrueNas is going to be installed on. And then I have the Western Digital, the WDC, that's going to be the drive I'm going to use for my cloud storage. So I'm going to disable the WDC because I don't want to boot from it, and I'm just going to keep the HGST and save it. When my PC reboots, I'm going to hit F12 for boot options, and I'm going to select the flash drive I just plugged into the back of the PC and hit enter. This might take about 5 minutes for you, but I'm going to skip ahead. Hit enter to boot TrueNas installer. This is going to take about 10 minutes, but I'm going to skip ahead. Select install upgrade, select yes, select the hard drive you want to install TrueNas on, hit yes, enter a password for your root account, And my PC is pretty old, so I'm going to do boot via BIOS. Do create swap. And again, this is going to take about 10 minutes. I'm going to skip ahead for you. When it's completed, go ahead and remove the flash drive and reboot your PC. Now you can leave your PC alone and it will automatically boot into TrueNas on its own. Now when it boots into TrueNas for the very first time, it will take about 10 minutes, but I'm going to skip ahead so you don't have to see all of that. When it's done, it's going to give you the IP address for the web user interface for TrueNas. So what you want to do is you want to get on another PC and type in the IP address in your web browser so you can use the web user interface. For username, you're going to type in root, and for the password, you're going to type the password that you set up during the installation. First thing is first, let's go ahead and create a pool. So go to storage, pools, add, create pool. Give the pool a name, so I'm going to name mine Eclipse. And then go ahead and select the storage device you want to use. And then click the right arrow. Click on force, confirm, continue, create, click confirm again, create pool, and it should start. Oh, I get an error message, so let me show you how to fix this error message. So you're going to go to disk under storage, and you're going to click wipe on the disk that you're trying to set up the pool on. Hit confirm, continue, and it's just going to wipe the disk. After that, go ahead and close it, and then go back into pools, click add, create pool, give the pool a name. Again, I'm going to name mine Eclipse. Click on the storage device, click on the right arrow, click on force, confirm, continue, then click on create, confirm, create pool, and it should successfully create your pool. Next, let's go ahead and set up a plugin. So click on plugins, select the pool you just created, hit choose, close, select NextCloud, install, give your jail a name. So I'm going to name mine NX, and save. And this is going to take about 10 to 15 minutes, so be patient with it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it so it doesn't look so long. Hit close. And then if you scroll down, there's going to be an arrow. Scroll down, hit manage, and it's going to take you to the NextCloud URL. Click advance and continue to get to the NextCloud login screen. If you go back and click on post install notes, you're going to see your admin account and admin password. So just copy the admin password, and the admin account is going to be NCAdmin. It's going to then play some videos, welcome packets, brochures, all that mumble jumble it's going to show you. The first thing I like to do is go in and create myself an admin account, and then I'll log into my admin account and delete the NCAdmin account. You don't have to do it, it's just something I like to do, but again, you don't have to do it. But if you do want to do it, this is where you would go. Now let's make sure our router doesn't assign a different IP address to our server. So if you have an AT&T router / modem, go into home network and IP allocation, find the IP address of your server, and then click on allocate. If you're using an Asus router, go to LAN, DHCP server, scroll down to manually assign IP around the DHCP list, click the drop down box, find your server, verify that the IP address is correct, and then click on add and apply. So what do you do if you run into an unknown HTTP error? Well, let me show you how to fix it. In the TrueNas interface, click on shell, and then you're going to type in IO cage console and then the name of your jail. Next, type in this long command, and I will include it in the description below so you can just copy and paste. And then just scroll down until you see the IP address for your NextCloud. Here's mine. My router changed the IP address for NextCloud, so I'm just going to update this to the newest IP address I have. And I don't have to worry about this anymore because I changed the IP address to a static IP address. So you can update the IP address, or you can add a second line and just put the new IP address for your NextCloud and save your changes. So hit escape, hit A again, and your changes are saved. Let's set up the mobile app. Once downloaded, open it, hit login, and enter the IP address for your NextCloud. Go ahead and hit login again. Now type in your username and password. Grant access. And then it's going to load, and you should start seeing all your files. Now this is the NC admin account, and these are pretty much all the pre-installed stuff you get with NextCloud. And let me give you a little tour of NextCloud. So as you can see, it looks very similar to Google Drive. You have your add button here where you can just upload your file, upload a folder. You can also just drag and drop the file right into the web browser. As shown before, you can click on the top corner, go to users, and you can see all the users you have added to your NextCloud. If you need to add anyone else, you just click on new user and you just fill this out here. Don't have to make them admin. You can give them a very basic account so they can't do anything to screw up your NextCloud. And then you have dashboard, files, photos, activities, you know, all those good things. And this NextCloud is actually also meant to be used as a suite, so you do have contacts where you can communicate with other people, because this is like for small businesses. So it does also has the capability of actually communicating with other people, like sort of like what you would use Teams for. It has a calendar, so like you can update this calendar, and then it does have some security features where you can do two-step verification for your account. And that just means that when you log in, it's going to ask for a token, so you need your phone to, you know, get that token so you can log in. And that's pretty much NextCloud in a pinch. It's a really cool free cloud storage solution for DIYers like you and me that like to dabble in IT. I really like it a lot. I was using OwnCloud before, and OwnCloud it kept crashing and it eventually stopped working, so I upgraded to NextCloud, and I like it. I actually think it's a lot better than OnCloud. That does it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. I'm sorry I went too fast. I know I did. I know I went way too fast. I edited the video first and then did voiceover work, so that's why everything was just so quick. If you're interested to see a tutorial on how to access your cloud storage from outside your home network, let me know. I will work on that video also. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. If you didn't, thumbs down work also. Leave a comment in the comment section below for any questions. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Later.